We look up to these sugar babies, and it takes more than just laying on your back to get to the money. And matter of fact, some girls don't even expect to lay on their backs, which is silly. So we can talk about getting to the money, but sugar baby lifestyle. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Alexis, and on this channel I cover important lessons and takeaways that I get from viral topics. Today I wanted to focus on the CNN surveillance footage that was aired of a rapper, Diddy Combs, putting hands and feet on his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. So last year in November, a lawsuit came out filed by Cassie Ventura. In the lawsuit, she actually detailed an incident where she was trying to leave a hotel and he followed her and put hands on her and threw things at her. And this surveillance footage is actually an evidence of that. And she also mentioned in the lawsuit that he had paid the hotel to get rid of the surveillance footage, but somehow I guess nobody really got rid of it. It's just like when they say everything on the internet lasts forever, I guess. So the footage was still around and CNN managed to get a hold of it and aired it. And I'm very grateful for them because there's a lot of people who are still trying to push the narrative that he's innocent and this is just a money grab. I'm pretty sure Cassie herself would just want to move on from this, but this is actually a very good thing for her. I mean, I think the statute of limitation has already expired, but when it comes to the court of public opinion, people don't have any more room to say that he's innocent because we can see him on camera doing some of the things that he was accused of. If what just came out proved that Cassie was saying some truth, then what is to say that everything else that she said isn't true? Because if she's already telling the truth about this incident at the hotel, then there's a very high chance that everything else that she said was true. Now, for me personally, I believe everything she said. It's just way too much bad news and bad energy surrounding P. Diddy over time that I don't see why anybody believes in his greatness anymore. But some people just don't want to see it. I didn't even need a video footage to believe what she was saying. I believed her from the start, and I believe he abused other people before her. But some people are still in the Lululand. Either way, my video today is not going to be commentary. It's going to be a few things that I feel like we need to consider moving forward if we just want a better society. To be honest with you, I'm just saying, but I don't think that's ever going to happen because we live in society is doomed. And I don't think much is going to happen in terms of becoming better people. I don't have that much hope for society, but I just wanted to just kind of share a few things that we might have to change in order to move forward into a better, safer world. Before I get into my points, let me say this. My point today is going to be very centered around culture, specifically black culture, since that's a culture where P. Diddy was a mogul at, like rap culture, black culture. He is somebody who represented black culture for a minute. So my video is going to be centered around black culture and how we sometimes fail ourselves. Just how black culture sometimes fail the people that are supposed to benefit the most from it, which is black people specifically. Just wanted to give that disclaimer. The video is going to talk a lot about blackness, black people, black culture, and how sometimes we do things that do not benefit us. So with that being said, let's get into my points and takeaways. Number one, and this is very important to me, this is one of the main things that I even wanted to talk about. Not every criticism about a man who's black is people trying to take the black man down. Let that settle in for a minute. Not everybody who has a negative experience with a man who's black and wants to come forward with those negative experiences is trying to destroy the image of the black man. There's nothing that I hate more than that argument, and I'm hearing people say that all the time. When we say we're trying to destroy the image of the black man, I feel like people are trying to push a narrative that A man who's black is incapable of doing evil, which is not true. Every man, any man can be bad. So there's this idea that white men, because they're the face of power, they're evil, and if a bad thing come out against a white man, we should just believe it. But if it's a black man, because black men don't have that much power in society to begin with, we should just take it with a grain of salt and not believe it, because everybody's trying to put the black man down, everybody's trying to destroy the black man. That is stupid. A lot of people tend to mistake like failure or weakness with kindness. That's not how that works. And the reason why I say that is because this narrative that people are trying to pick the black men down comes from the fact that black men feel emasculated or have always been kind of the weaker group of men everywhere around the world. So if we believe every evil thing about white men that we hear because they are the face of power or whatever, then we cannot believe every evil thing. It's almost as if there's no way that if a white man is capable of evil, then that means black men can do the same evil, since black men do not have the same amount of power in society. That plays at our detriment, especially black people, especially our community, because there's a lot of men who are not for the people. There's a lot of men who do things for their own benefit, and they don't care how the women and the children suffer. And they just kind of take advantage of the fact that we live in a black society that don't want to hold the men accountable, and just use that to abuse the people even further. I do not believe, however, that if a man is innocent, he needs to be accused of things that he's never done. That's not fair. However, some of us in the black community are hell-bent into pushing this narrative that the men are innocent. Even when they do wrong, nobody wants to believe that they're capable of doing some of the things that they've done. And I don't think that's fair. I think that's actually making us dig ourselves in deeper and deeper holes. And moving forward, it would be nice if we stop with this mindset. But again, like I said earlier in this video, I doubt that people would ever get over this obsession that they have with a black man's image, which I don't really know what that even means, because I think everything that makes black men around the world look bad is because of black men themselves. They're responsible for their image, so I don't know why we want to pretend as if we can do anything about that. They're grown people, and they have control over their image more than we want to give them credit to. And I'm so sick and tired of this narrative that if you complain about something that the black men have done to you, you're trying to take him down. That really encourages abuse in the community. It makes the women and the children more afraid to come out and speak the truth, because a lot of us go through hell at the arms of the men of our community. I can go on and on about this, but I've noticed this a lot and it makes me sick. I think we need to stop. Not everything is about pushing a black man down. The people who were dismissing Cassie were saying that mainly because they thought people were trying to make P. Diddy look bad. And he's been making himself look bad all along. He treated his employees like crap. He's not a nice man. He was one of the pioneers in hip-hop culture that doesn't really benefit black people. Hypersexualization, gang violence, and stuff like that. When we talk about the representation of black people in the media and how we look bad, men like P. Diddy are some of the people who have contributed a lot to that. He has helped a lot with black people just looking bad in general. So I don't know why people want to infantilize him, like, don't make a black man look bad. I mean, he has done a lot to make the black man himself look bad. It would be better if y'all come together and start finding a way for these men to get counseling and mental health assistance so they can stop hurting their own people. That would be a better solution. Not just dismissing it because you think we want to hurt him. Just a thought. Please consider that moving forward. But I don't have any much hope, if I'm going to be honest. My second takeaway from this, and something that I wish we'll stop doing moving forward, is glamorizing sugar baby thought culture as we're moving forward. The reason why I say that is because every time a woman, especially black, even mixed, because Cassie is mixed, every time a black woman or brown presenting woman is capable of being with a man of resources, a man with money, we don't want to see anything past that. Matter of fact, a lot of us, especially as black women, we encourage like sugar baby culture, thug culture, go get the bag. I feel like we have this way of glamorizing everything that looks like money, and we don't really care how the money, like what where the money comes from, or what it takes to get to the money. It's just get your rich man, get your sugar daddy, and get to the bag. A lot of women are finding themselves in a very bad predicament because they were pretty much chasing the same dreams as everybody and following the advice of a lot of the rich black girls in hip hop or the media. And I can think of somebody like Carisha, who I think was the latest sugar baby to Diddy before he got like taken down, which is kind of sad, by the way, because he has had black girlfriends before. I mean, the only black girlfriend that I know was Kim Porter, may she rest in peace, who was the mother of his kids. But other than that, he's somebody who's always glamorized being mixed, like women who are mixed. And word on the curb is he used to tell some of his black female artists that they were ugly. So he's been that type of black man, you know, who puts too much value in Eurocentric features and hair textures, etc. So I don't know. I think it's mighty funny how he kind of added Carisha to his roster when he was about to go down. Some people might disagree. I think that was actually a plan. I think he knew some things were coming, and he wanted to go back into the good graces of black women, because a lot of us already felt like something about the death of his ex-wife that was black, something about that her death was wrong, and it was because of him. So to just kind of get back into black women's good graces, I think that's why he kind of brought Carisha into, you know, his little sugar baby roster, because all the other girls were non-black. There were a lot of Asian women, white Asian women in his roster. None of them were black though. And Carisha got there and she was loud as hell. She was pushing that sugar baby thought culture, and look at how things are looking now. I just want us to not put so much value in the sugar baby culture and the thought culture and the chasing a bag. I'm not about to sit here and discourage hypergamy, however. I believe money is very important in a relationship. Very. I'm not about to sit here and act like I'm just somebody who's okay with a man having nothing. No, I'll never. But the way I see a lot of us in the black community do it, I will not encourage it. The way I see people like Young Miami, Carisha, and all these, a lot of rappers like JT, Lotto, you know, all these people encouraging, chasing after the jet set type of lifestyle. You know, chasing after this rapper with no substance, chasing after men who got nothing else to offer but the money. It's like, I believe in hypergamy, but not like that. It's just that type of lifestyle comes with a huge cost, and I wouldn't encourage us to be looking forward to a lifestyle like that. I hope we can consider that moving forward. Stop encouraging get into the bag. That's how you get so many women stuck in these abusive relationships. My next point is preferences will always end up getting the same treatment as the women who they think are the less preferred. As this whole thing with PDD came out, there is this writer named Cola Booth. She claimed to have been a friend to the late Kim Porter, and she's saying that Cassie used to feel as if she was in a better position than Kim Porter because she was gassed up to believe that her not being completely black made her better. I don't know how true that is, to be honest. That's just allegedly. That's what writer Cola Booth claims. And if that's the case, then that's sad, because men have different ways of abusing depending on where they're from, depending on who you are as a woman. If a man is an abuser, he's gonna abuse you. It doesn't matter how you look, how your body looks. It doesn't matter if you are a middle class, upper class, lower class woman. He will get to the abusing sooner or later. Preferences get the exact same treatment. But because we live in a society where there's so much value around whiteness or Eurocentric, anything, it takes a little longer for preferences to be disrespected. Preferences also get disrespected secretly compared to women who fit Afrocentric beauty standards or just black women in general. Black women get always disrespected in public, and the disrespect comes quick because people don't feel the need to show us respect. But when it comes to women of other groups, the abuse is gonna come. It's just gonna take a little longer because there's a little more value into them being non-black. I just wanted to put that out there because there's a huge misconception that these preferences are chosen and are treated better. No, they're chosen first of all for all the wrong reasons, right? Because it's always a man trying to look a little more powerful, and because Eurocentric anything is attached to power, men will use those women of other groups to get to the power or to feel powerful. Yeah, so first of all, choosing for all the wrong reasons, but then when they get through the door, it takes a moment before they get mistreated just like everybody else. If there were any black women out here who thought that being non-black can actually spare you from danger, I just want to let you know that absolutely not. Those women still have to face the toughness of these men. It just comes a little later. It's packaged differently. That's all. I think we've had evidence upon evidence that women of other groups don't get treated any better by the men of our community based on the way the men of our community put women of a lighter skin tone on a pedestal. You would never think that a black man would assault a woman who's mixed the way Diddy assaulted that woman on camera. Like, you would never think that. But that's really some of the things that happen behind closed doors. I really want black women to consider that as we're sometimes talking about these preferences and how they're sought after. That's another thing that I see on social media. Black men throwing it in our faces that we're not choosing and we're not sought after. What's the point of being sought after if it just takes a little longer, but eventually these men are going to put hands on them if that's what they want to do? Truth be told is that men of substance with intelligence and integrity will never consider just a woman's skin tone to make her his. My next point is that we should not be surprised by who's exposed next. We have a tendency of idolizing entertainers. Very bad idea. People are already saying that the next person on the list of getting exposed for his crimes is, yours truly, Mr. Beyonce. And I just hope everybody is ready. I hope people are buckled up. It's not going to slow down from here. People are just going to keep getting exposed. That's what it looks like anyways. And please don't be surprised if your favorite athlete or favorite rapper get exposed. Because in the black community, we put so much emphasis on these entertainers and they're in the public eye. Truth be told is that there's a lot of people behind the scenes who are just as evil. A lot of people with money and power. Those would be our politicians, etc. But those people are never in the public eye the way these rappers and these athletes and these singers are. They might never even get exposed, to be honest with you. The politicians and the people behind the scenes. But our favorite actors, athletes will get exposed. And the way people stood by Diddy when all of these things were coming to the forefront, I hope we never do it again. Like, I really hope we never stand by any man like that, especially like I said earlier, because he's a black man, whatever. I really hope we have learned our lesson, and even if we don't believe the victims right away, we just shut up and let it unravel. Because people stood by this man. The same thing with R. Kelly. Until this day, people are standing by R. Kelly. They're not going to believe anything, even though there's video evidence out there. People are sticking by him. I think there's still a lot of people behind the scenes who are sticking by Diddy, but this is not the end. Some people might even say this is just the beginning. More and more is going to come out. When the next person being exposed is your favorite, don't be mad, don't be surprised. Victims still need to be believed. Victims need to be heard. For my next point, I wanted to address this thing that I've heard a lot, where some people want to argue that there are more good than evil in the world. Like Cat Williams said earlier this year,
it's God's side and the other side.
We are in a spiritual warfare for sure. I don't know how I feel about this statement that there's more good than evil in the world. I feel like some people say it because they want to believe that there's more good than evil. I personally don't believe so. But if this is true, that there's actually more good people than evil in the world, which it might be, I need people to remember that it really doesn't matter how many good people there are in the world if we as good people do not have power. So let's say we are 8 billion people in the world today. Out of those 8 billion, 7.5 billion people were self-righteous, just God-fearing, or whatever religion you believe in, fearing and good and want to do good in society. That 0.5 billion people who are evil are probably the elites and the most powerful. And it matters because we can have a majority. We can have 99% of good people, but if the 0.001% that have all the money and power are actually evil, they have more in on your corner to fight us with. They have more ammunition, they have all the weapons, they own all the knowledge. Really, they have the money and the power, and they get to tell us how to navigate, how to think. They can even recruit more evil people. They can even change people's mind about certain things. So they have all the power, they have the money. Like, I'm not saying that this is something that we all necessarily have to be scared of. For those of you who believe in God and are very religious, I'm pretty sure you believe that it's God's word that was gonna run. God is gonna rule. However, I don't really like when people let religion take over them and make them not fight back. It's like, I'm not gonna fight back, I'm gonna be nice, I'm gonna turn the other cheek because God got me. I don't really like how that sounds. Truth be told is, to all the people who believe that there's more good people than bad, that might be true, but majority of the people who have all the money and the power, majority of the people who we have to rely on for our livelihoods, seem to be bad people, and we need to consider that. Good people do not have that much power to begin with. We need to kind of consider that moving forward, as we take things for granted, as we idolize certain people, as we glamorize certain cultures. There might be more good people than bad in the world, but it seems like the few amount of bad people that there is have all the money, the power, the resources to shape the world into what they want it to be. And what's the point of having majority people as good people if we do not have as much power and as many ownership over ourselves as the bad people do? I hope that makes sense. Like, I just wanted people to kind of consider that. We are in the spiritual warfare. It's scary out here. People need to stay prayed up. Last but not least, my next point is, we need to stop trying to hurt other people the way we've been hurt. Everything that Diddy is doing to people or have done to people are things that were done to him. Now, I don't know by who, because keep in mind, Diddy himself, he has people that are above him. There are people who are more powerful than him, which, by the way, somehow we focus so much on these artists, but we don't talk about the CEO of the record labels that they signed to, etc. There are people more powerful than him. So my question is, hurt people hurt people. He learned this behavior somewhere. He's still responsible for his actions, but he learned some of this evil somewhere. And if we're going to live in a better society, I think it's important for people to learn how to deal with the pain and hurt without dragging other people into it. This very much mainly applies to black people, because we are very hurt, and because we are so desensitized by the way our community looks, how bad the community looks, we have a tendency of taking the pain that was inflicted upon us by somebody else, and a lot of times our own, and we hurt the future generation with that same pain. I think that's what's going on with Diddy, and I think moving forward it would be nice if people learn how to deal with pain and not just rush to trying to make somebody else hurt the way they are hurt. It's not even just these artists, but even the everyday black person, even in our everyday lives. It would be beneficial if we could learn how to deal with our own pain and trauma without trying to hurt the next person. It's going to fix a lot in the community if we learn how to keep our pain with us, deal with it, heal it, and not take it out Because right now it seems like hurt people, and there's nobody that does it more than in the black community. We just hurt each other. We go through pain, we go through anger, we go through hurtful things, and we don't deal with it. We just sweep it under the rug. But truth be told is that it never goes anywhere. It's still there inside of us, and we consciously or subconsciously inflict that pain upon others. But as far as I'm concerned, there's no excuse for that man. I'm pretty sure he was hurt in a lot of ways himself. No excuse for him. He really is something else. But I don't think we're gonna see him go to jail. I don't think so. But at least now the people can see what he's capable of. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for everybody who made it to this point. I hope everything I said makes sense. Please go ahead and like the video. Please go ahead and share the video. And subscribe, because I post videos like this every week. And I'll be happy to have you all here with me. So thank you again for being here. My name is Alexis, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye. Thank you.